Good morning. I thought I'd make a video this morning. We're getting ready to buy a newer RV. As if you've been following along, everybody knows. We want to get a 40-foot diesel pusher with at least 2 slides, probably 3 if we can find one. And I thought I'd make a video on a few things to look for that I found out from past experience. The first thing I do when I want to look at it is make sure the slides and stuff aren't out. Make sure the jacks aren't down. Just like it was parked, I mean, before anybody did anything. Then I go ahead and put the slides out. And put the jacks down. Well, of course you put the jacks down first before you put the slides out, but make sure that you put the jacks down. Make sure you put the slides out. Then what you want to do is actually go outside and look underneath. Look at the feet of the jacks. If they're covered with oil, that means there's probably been a problem in the past with one of them leaking. So that's one thing you want to check. And I would actually run them up and down a couple times. That gives us a chance to keep the pressure right on them, and then you know for sure whether they're leaking or not. And if the feet on them seem to be covered with oil, then for the hydraulic ones, I'd make sure that that was fixed before I took it. Same with the slides. Our slide, we had one jack that leaked, which we were able to fix. It was just a matter of the fitting was loose on it. We just tightened the fitting up and that stopped the leak. And second, when you're moving the slides in and out, once the slides are out, go out and look underneath on the rails that the slide runs on, and check for hydraulic oil there. We had a leak there also on the front slide, because that's something that's going to cost you money later on, and if it's leaking, it's probably only going to get worse, and it can run into quite a bit of money if you have to pay to have them fixed yourself. So luckily we were home and I was able to fix the things without too much trouble. It was just a matter of loose fittings, but this is stuff that the dealer should have checked before they sold it. And actually on the slide, we didn't even know that was leaking till it snowed here, and I happened to see some pink fluid on the snow. Of course, it showed up really good then. And that's how we knew that was leaking. I didn't fix it until this spring, but it is fixed now. What else do you want to look at? Another thing I should say is to, when we bought ours, I went in and I tried pretty much everything. It was winter time, could not tell if the air conditioners were working because they were blowing cold air, but it was cold anyhow, so they seemed to work, but you can't really tell. And we got lucky, they both were working. Then the next thing is the hot water heater. I hit the button, turned it on, it fired, I shut it back off. That was a mistake, because later on we found out the hot water heater did not stay lit. So if they really want to sell you this RV and you're really interested in it, have them fill the thing, put some water in it, fire up the hot water heater, and let it run for a while. The problem was ours would run for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then it would quit. And it just turned out to be a bad thermocouple, and a real easy fix. And they did fix it, because I brought it back to them and said, hey, the hot water heater's not working. And they did fix it, but that's something else that it only takes 10 minutes to check that. Let it run for a few minutes, make sure it gets hot. And there's a few other things that probably should be checked. They're not super important. It's stuff that you can do. Simple things. I mean, unless you don't care about minor things because you're so excited just to get the RV. Another thing to check that I found out to check is the wiper blades. We had one that was bad from the get-go, and I ended up changing that because my warranty was up, because on a used coach like this one, which is an older one, it's only for 30 days. Well, it didn't rain for 30 days, and guess what? When it rained, actual part of the wiper blade actually came right off. So I ended up changing that. What else? Do an extra good walkthrough. Take a flashlight with you. Look in the corners on the ceiling and stuff, and see if it's been damaged at all. When I mean damaged, I mean if the headliner's white, which most of them are, they clean them up pretty good, and they will clean up pretty good. But usually in the corners, I'd say in your front corner, it's in your back corners, and inside the cupboards, just take a flashlight and shine up in there. If there's any brownish tint to it at all, it probably means it's leaked at one time. You want to make sure that that's fixed. And by all means, climb right up on the roof. Take a good look around. If the roof looks like it's in really good shape, if it looks kind of all stained up on top and stuff, they should recoat the roof for you, just to, otherwise you're gonna end up doing it anyhow, because it means it hasn't been done in a while. And these should probably be coated every few years. And odds are that whoever had it before probably didn't do it if it's all stained up and everything. So you want to make sure that that's one thing to check. And especially on the air conditioners, we have two on this. One for the bedroom, one for the main coach. And the one in the bedroom started leaking. Like I say, we'd already had it quite a while first. And it turned out there was a crack in the main cover. It was right on the edge, so it didn't look like it would have hurt anything. But what happens is there's a track down inside there, and the water would go through that little crack down that track, then it would come out in on the ceiling. It was hard to tell where it was coming from, but got that fixed, no problem. There's a few other things, but I can't think right offhand. I'm just doing this on the fly. I didn't write anything down. But I know there's more things. I'm going blank at the moment. But those are a few important things that can cost you a lot of money. I mean, there's probably going to be some little things that you can probably take care of yourself if the dealer doesn't take care of them. But those are big things that can cost you a lot of money. And another thing that you might want to try, these dealers really mark these, even the used ones, they mark them right up pretty good. So I'd say even on a used one, if they're asking $40,000 for it, they're willing to come down at least $4,000, I would think. At least that's what we found. So don't pay what they're asking. I would say never pay what they're asking. It's like a used car, they got a price on it, but they'll take it in on trade. And when they take them in on trade, if you've ever traded a car or anything in, they don't give you crap for it. So they have room there to drop. So that's one thing you want to make sure is that get the best price you can. Because there are some things you're going to have to fix, and that little extra money that you save on the purchase price can pay for fixing that stuff. Another thing that maybe you might want to check is the furnace. I don't care how hot it is out. Turn that furnace on and let it run for a while too. Because we found out there was a leak in one of the vents underneath that was just blowing the warm air outside. Didn't know it until wintertime. until this spring, because we bought it in the winter, obviously. But we found out that there was actually a leak in one of the vents. It was just pumping the hot air outside. So one way to tell us to what I would do is cover, if there's 4 vents down through the coach, cover 3 of them, see how much air actually comes out of the 4th one, and then just keep switching them around, make sure each one, and then take off all your covers and see how much air actually pushes out. If you're not getting a lot of flow through there, you've probably got a leak underneath somewhere. And like I said, we found a lot of problems with this one. They fixed quite a few of them, but there's a couple things we didn't know about that we kind of got surprised with, but they weren't big deals and we were able to fix them. And I wasn't the smartest guy in the world when we went to pick this up, because I had never owned a Class A before. I had owned a lot of campers, but never a Class A. And we never really used the furnaces or any of that stuff in them. We never used the hot water heater because we always had it where we had access to that stuff. We didn't do any winter camping at all. Most of it was during the summer. So I'll make a second video with more stuff on it later on. I want to try to keep this short. But maybe this will save somebody some trouble. I know it's going to save us some trouble, because when we get the new one, we're going to go right through it. And seeing how we're living full time, we've got to park right next to it for a couple days at the dealers to get everything transferred over. So that'll give us a chance to, we'll actually be kind of living in it for a couple days right there. So anything I find wrong, they'll have to fix right there. Anyway, this is Handsome Jack and Ramblin' Rose for Have Gas Will Travel. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a good day, and keep your eyes open and be smart. Bye for now.